ARK 2, the name that instantly gets people asking the same question. Is ARK 2 still happening? Yes, the answer to that question is ARK 2 is still happening, but recently Snail Games have gone on to say that it wants ARK 2 to become a pop culture icon. Today we're going to be breaking down what that truly means and talking about what they want to do with ARK 2. Of course, we found out recently this year that ARK 2 won't be coming to any platform until at least early 2027. So with that being so far away, let's dive into what pop culture icon truly means for ARK 2. If you enjoyed today's video, feel free to drop a like and subscribe if you're new around here, and let's get in with the video. So what is the weight of that statement? What is something that wants to be a pop culture icon? There are many examples. Fortnite have had live events. They've had Marvel, DC collabs. They've had pretty much every single collab you could ever think of. Minecraft, there's always lots going on with Minecraft, such as they've actually had a huge movie with Jack Black in it. And things like The Witcher and Cyberpunk that have had their own series going into Netflix. Obviously, The Witcher being quite popular recently. I know the newest series might not be as popular. I haven't watched it myself. Lots of music. That's kind of what Snail want to do with ARK 2. Of course, can we trust them with that? I'm not too sure. But there are a lot of people involved in ARK 2 that isn't just Snail Games. ARK as a franchise is one of the biggest in the entire gaming industry. Whether you hear it every single day or not, it is definitely one of the biggest out there, definitely being at least the biggest survival game. When you think about dinosaurs, there's a few things you think about. You think about Jurassic World, and you think about ARK, in my personal opinion, especially if you're into gaming. Vin Diesel's involvement is absolutely massive for Snail's kind of pop culture. Vin Diesel being one of the biggest actors in the entire world, and the fact that he actually played ARK gives players a little bit of hope that Vin Diesel is truly going to know what ARK needs to be successful. He actually works at the company, but he's going to star in a bunch of movies potentially in the future, which is something that some of the devs have talked about, is that with ARK Survival, the brand as a whole, not only have they got an animated series, which has been going on at this moment in time, they have also got plans for future movies with at least 3 of them on the cards. We're talking live action. Right now, we don't know whether this is scrapped or whether this is still something on the cards. I'm sure it's something they want to do, but they've got to get this animated series finished first. Over the years, you would have seen that ARK has brought in many celebrity names, especially with the talk of ARK 2 and the animated series. We've had David Tennant, one of the biggest stars in the sense of, sci-fi, being, one of the best doctors out there. If you've watched Doctor Who, they've had Russell Crowe, they've had Carl Urban, who plays in The Boys. They've had many celebrity names, and it clearly shows that they want to make ARK this pop culture. I personally don't think it's a bad thing, but the only thing that gets bad is when is a chance at losing truly what made your game popular from the start. ARK has always been a dinosaur game, but not at the same time. The devs have always said that ARK has never planned right from the beginning to be a dinosaur game, but a lot of people that have played it see it as a dinosaur game. But I think the actual company themselves have more eyes set on, as we said, making it more of a pop culture icon. But if you lose that identity, it can be a bit of a problem. Snail Games and Wildcard don't just want ARK 2 to sell well. They want it to be recognized the way Halo, The Witcher, Fortnite are. I believe ARK is kind of, the level below games such as Fortnite, games such as Minecraft, but you do hear a lot of people talking about it, and it's very popular. Do I believe that ARK could be more popular to this day than it has once been? I really do. And I think that there's been certain decisions that have been made for the game that has stopped it from growing. That's my personal opinion. I think they've also struggled in making it a perfectionist game, in the sense of they've had game bugs, they've had issues that have really stopped people from wanting to play. They have server lag, and that kind of thing, when you've not got a game that's smooth, can really frustrate players and, make them not want to play for a very long time. But one thing that ARK truly has, which other games struggle with, is the addiction factor. There is many games out there that try and do what ARK have done, and they seem to fail. ARK brings back thousands and hundreds of thousands of players every single year to their DLCs, and they have a very dedicated fan base out there that no matter what they go through, that fan base will stick by it. They'll get frustrated, but through constantly losing characters, items, and so much more, they will come back and support their beloved game. So it really asks the question, if ARK 2 is planned to become a pop culture icon, what is going to allow it to become that? The game has to be good. We know it's coming in early access, and we know that there's going to be issues with it, simple as. Anyone that's ever played ARK over the years know that they struggle with release dates, they struggle with patches, and there's always in-game issues which could potentially hinder ARK 2's performance. But no one will doubt that when ARK 2 actually launches, it will be the biggest game of that chosen month when it comes out. The biggest question will be, how will they keep the player base? What's going to make ARK 2 so addictive like the first one that doesn't see it die and go to a very low player count? I believe they're taking a bit of a risk, but I believe without taking risks, you never get anywhere. I think there's a bit of a genre change with the third-person Dark Souls type combat. I think they're trying to reach into a different type of player base, and from what Snail have said, they're making ARK 2 more story-driven to really give more of that. And you've seen that happen throughout the ARK game itself, Survival Evolved and Survival Ascended. As time has gone on, they've actually fixed the story up, and they've made it more story driven, which I've really enjoyed. And if you're interested in the lore of ARK, there's actually needed to be some fixing up, as I don't believe they were ready to truly put story into it until it got more popular. And that's what they want to do now with ARK 2. They want to carry the story on, but this time right from the beginning. So my fellow Dino fans, when do you think that ARK 2 will be released? With the current date set at an early 2027 launch, it's interesting to see what's going on here and whether Vin Diesel is truly ready to step ahead of the role of being the president of creative convergence at Studio Wildcard. I know it's been going on for a very long time, and I would truly love to know what Vin Diesel does behind the scenes, considering him and his family have been such dedicated ARK players for many years. And a little bit of funny information is that Vin Diesel was one of the people that actually reported a serious bug in ARK Survival Evolved, which was the reason why Studio Wildcard found out that Vin Diesel was an ARK player. But anyway guys, that is going to be today's video. Let me know what you think pop culture icon truly means for ARK 2. And for this new game, will they finally get it right? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below.